Question one was what factors contributed to Jenny and Bailey's lack of adjustment to Japan? I feel that the first major contributor was the lack of time given them to research and understand the Japanese culture and way of life. They were only given 3 weeks to prepare for the move. This included Fred's time to prepare the replacement for his position in the company, the time given to pack all their belongings that they were taking along, and to find places to store the belongings that they were not taking along. This left, and all the other logistics that were included in the move. This left little time, if any, to understand any of the culture that they would be living in for the next 3 years. Another contributor that I believe was greatly impacted their lack of adjustment was Jenny's lack of enthusiasm to begin with. At the start of the move, she was concerned about the children's schooling, and that was never addressed by either of them, and that her desire to return to work was overlooked with Fred's desire to move and to start this new assignment. The second question, what mistake did Fred make at work because of his lack of understanding in the Japanese culture? Again, I believe this goes back to the lack of time that was given him and his family to understand the culture that they were moving into. He assumed that the Japanese culture was much like the American culture, and this was brought on by his lack of communication with the other individuals that were already in the Tokyo office. If he had spent a little more time communicating with them, he would have understood that they had kept the meetings were separate between the Japanese employees and the American employees, just because of the cultural difference. His lack of communication before he called that first meeting led to many tense situations after that. The third question, what criteria would be important in selecting employees for overseas assignments? I believe it would be very important to select someone that had a good understanding of not only the work culture, but the culture as a whole, of the culture of the places that they are going to be living in. Not understanding culture or being given the time to and opportunity to research the culture can be setting someone up for failure, much as Jenny and Fred were set up in a way for failure by not giving them the time they needed to prepare for the move. Final question, number 4, what special training and development programs might have been beneficial to Fred and his family prior to his assignment in Tokyo? The biggest and most important would have been any training that they had on the culture that they were going to be living in. Any type of training on that culture would have been helpful, even in the smallest point, to help them understand what they were going to be living in. The Japanese culture and how Japanese live, what they eat, how they interact with each other can be so different from the culture that they were exposed to in the past. Also, starter language cultures, I realize that they won't be a master of the language by the time they would go over there, but being able to understand even the smallest things would have greatly helped them learn more as they were over there. Also, the 3 weeks that they were given did not allow for any training. They were busy with all the logistics of the move, so allowing more time for the move and for the decision making of the move would have been a great help to Jenny and Fred and their children within the move, and it would have helped them adjust to the family life and the life that they were going to be living in Japan. Thank you.